This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Dumpster Diving. It's Mark and Mike here talking about... Usually we go back to the past. I thought we were going to go back to the past. I saw that... So, a little inside baseball. When we choose what we're going to watch for Dumpster Diving... Typically, we try to make it something that's on Hulu or Netflix or Amazon because, you know, that's the streaming services that we have. And I saw that Will and Grace was on Hulu, so I was like, oh, that's a terrible show. Let me look up the worst episode of that. So I looked up the worst episode of that on the website that I have, and it's, I don't know, from season whatever, and... Apparently,
3.
Yeah, I think it's from season 3, but it's from season
2, actually.
Yeah, season 2 of the original run. And apparently, what I discovered today, because we changed what episode we were doing, is they don't have the original run on Hulu. What they have is the reboot. So what we watched.
I actually think they do. I think they actually do have the original run. I discovered afterwards because if I go to search. And Will and Grace, the new one comes up. But then if I browse, the old one was on there. So I guess we could have watched it.
Oh, interesting.
But it was also a 2-parter. So I'm glad I didn't have to watch 2 episodes of Will and Grace.
Yeah. Instead, we watched one terrible one.
Yeah, did you ever watch the show in the original run?
I watched it once, I think. I watched 1 or maybe 2 episodes of it. I watched it for a college class, actually. I think it was not cultural anthropology, but it was something, I don't remember what, but I was writing about, gay, it was like, homosexual culture studies or something like that. And I remember writing in this paper, I was making the argument that Will and Grace was actually harmful to the, gay and lesbian community because it was just using stereotypes for comedy.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
And that's the one time I watched it, basically. My wife liked it, though.
Yeah, I had never seen it. I mean, I kind of knew the premise. It's like one of those things that just like permeates pop culture. It's like it's a guy, like a homosexual guy. Mm-hmm. It's saying gay offensive. It's just so much shorter.
I don't think so. I don't think it's offensive.
I don't think. I mean, I think it's akin to like you saying a black instead of African American. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, but I mean, some people are offended by that.
People say queer all the time now too. Like,
see, I don't think you can say that.
Like I hear people all the time say like talk about the Matrix. There's a lot of queer theory in the Matrix, or there's a lot of queer culture in whatever, like Will and Grace.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant it like as an adjective for a person.
No, more like the idea.
Gotcha. But what's weird is because the actual word initially actually was a very useful word when it was not describing a sexuality.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like it is almost like it's slightly different from weird. Like if you say a movie was queer, it'd be almost like a different genre of like science fiction, I would think.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
But yeah, so it's I'm just gonna say gay. A gay guy and his friend. Do they live together? I don't really understand what's going on here.
Yeah, they live together, and they're like best friends, and she's straight, and he's gay, and they have a friend.
And then they have is that guy like whose friend is that? Is that the gay guy's friend?
I think the gay guy met him first, but he's like friends of both of them. His name is Jack. He's the Kramer of the show.
Yeah, I kind of figure that. And then there's like some woman who like, I don't know. It's really weird because I think she works for that Grace person. She also seems like she's very wealthy from the way she like talks. So I don't understand why her boss would like have to share an apartment with her friend. Where she like lives on like.
It's weird. She's hugely wealthy. She married some dude that also was very wealthy, or like I think she just married a guy that was really wealthy, and so she had a ton of money. But she works as her assistant, like, as a goof, I guess. She doesn't need to, but she just does it.
Yeah, I didn't really understand that whole dynamic there. So in this one, I guess this Will guy was dating, or was he married or dating to this guy named McAvoy? I think his name was.
I think he was dating this dude.
Yeah, so he was like, I don't know if that was on the show. I assume so. I don't really know though.
Yeah, that's my guess.
So he's dating this guy, and they break up. And what's weird is they kept talking about like how distraught he was over it, but he didn't seem even like a little distraught at any point in the entire show.
Not really, no.
Like, I don't know if that was like bad acting or if it was supposed to be the character like pretending to not be. I mean, he really did not seem to be affected much at all by this. But his friends, obviously know what's best, and so they're like, "Oh, you need to get over this." He's like, "I'm over it." They're like, "Oh no, you're not." It's like, "Oh, I'm really over it." But
get rid of all this shit.
Yeah, so they hire this thing, which is straight out of like 1999 circa South Park. It's the thing called the Grief Panda.
That's why I chose it. Sexual harassment.
Nice. Yeah, so this Grief Panda guy, he like basically, okay, this makes no sense at all. It's such a niche job. He helps people get over like bad relationships, I guess.
Yeah, it's I don't understand where this comes from. Like, I don't know what they're making fun of. I don't know what they're trying to satirize. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, a lot of these jokes in there, I really don't understand what they're even going for. But there is one joke that would be perfect. It would be the funniest fucking joke ever if it was like in 1999. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, because, well, first of all, I don't know the woman, like the assistant lady name.
Oh, it's Nick Offerman's wife.
Is it Megan or something?
Megan Mullally's her real name.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I know that was
Karen is her.
Okay, that might be it.
Yeah, Karen's her character.
Yes. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that she was his wife. And that was the same person from back then. But anyways, so this Karen person, like she goes, oh, she has to bend the premise so hard that it just doesn't make sense. But she goes, oh, the last panda I knew, he used to like to eat, shoot, and leave. Which was a reference to a book on grammar, like the early 2000s.
Correct. Yeah.
But I mean, her calling it a panda makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, she goes. Grace comes in and says she's got panda hair all over her jacket, which doesn't make any sense because it's got a guy in a panda suit.
Exactly.
And Karen says, "Oh, good luck getting a second date with a panda." Eats, shoots, and leaves. Which makes me laugh more saying it than hearing it on the episode. Yeah. Am I right? And like you said, yeah, it's a reference to a grammar book from the mid-90s. It's really weird joke.
Yeah, it was really odd. I thought it was. I don't know if this was how it was originally, but I was kind of surprised by the amount of like casual references to like drug use and that kind of stuff, and even like the shoots, leaves. I mean, I don't think you'd talk about like someone just like blasting loads normally on like network TV.
Right.
But I don't know the last show I've ever. I can't even remember the last show I've watched that was on network TV. Like I mean, it might have been the original Run a House.
Yeah. So.
Oh no! The following, I watched that show.
The one joke that made me laugh.
It was the hottest show on television.
Yeah, exactly. That was the Kevin Bacon one, right? Where he's a serial killer and everyone loved him.
Yeah, I liked it the first season, but
But the one joke that made me laugh was the Bryan Singer joke. That was kind of funny, where he's like, "Oh, we put your problems in a bag and got rid of them, like Bryan Singer would to one of his boys or something like that."
Yeah, which is, I mean, again, is that a joke that you could really make? I mean, you can't make a joke about Michael Jackson, throwing boys away. I mean, I don't know. I almost feel that there's another part of this that I thought was kind of weird because I think, what's his name? The Will guy calls the Jack guy a queen, which is that an insulting thing to say? I don't understand. Like, see, like, I know people are all about like the RuPaul like TV shows and stuff, but I don't know that I can say drag queen. Is that an offensive term? I honestly don't know the answer to that.
I don't know. It's.
I mean, there's a thing called drag queen bingo. My wife has gone to that before, but I mean, I don't know that I don't know if that's offensive. I honestly don't know what's offensive to people anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. I know that a show a show that's on YouTube that I watch sometimes. It's based. It's an offshoot of Jake and Amir, basically, because it stars these two comedians, Jake Hurwitz and Amir Blumenfeld, that used to be on College Humor. Jeffrey the Idiot, I think, is the name of the show. but they have this new intern named Jeffrey who's an idiot, and he goes, he says, like Amir's talking about something, and then all of a sudden Jeffrey just bursts in and he goes, "We open up on a what's he say, like a driveway or something like that. Rand Paul comes out, flanked by 30 different racers. Title card says Rand Paul's drag race." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, or he says, we introduce the 30 different contestants in order of race." Is what he says. And then he goes through this whole premise of Rand Paul is having a that's a drag race, like a car drag race. 30 contestants. The winner gets to take Rand Paul to the grand ball. And he's like, he's like, "I was hoping that you would win and take me to the ball." And he's like, Amir's like, "Okay, wait a second. So your plan was to pitch to me a show called Rand Paul's Drag Race, which is clearly just a ripoff of RuPaul's Drag Race, where you want me to invest money into it, produce it, become a contestant, win, and then violate the only rule of the game because the winner is supposed to take Rand Paul to the grand ball and take you to the grand ball instead. If I think that's crazy, call you insane. You're insane." And then he's like, "You said earlier too, introducing people by their race. What was that about?" He's like, "Yeah, from best to worst."
Oh no!
And Amir's like, "Yeah, I was afraid of that." And he's like, "Yeah, starting off with white and all the way to Djibouti." It's a pretty funny skit, but yeah. So I don't know if Drag Race is offensive. I don't know if that sketch is offensive. But if you want to write letters, direct them to Jake and Amir because that's where I got it from. Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. This show's not very funny. Maybe it was at some point. I don't know. I don't really. And then there's like I guess it's a heartfelt moment because like the Grace lady fires the Karen lady. It's like, "Oh, I want you to do, what you want." She's like, "Oh, I want to be part of your baby's life or something because, they're friends and she loves her, et cetera, et cetera."
Yeah, that whole thing was ridiculous too. Every time she starts to mention her baby, Karen changes the subject. So then Grace thinks, "Oh, it's because she doesn't want to work here anymore." And her baseball team that she bought, it's so weird. The baseball team that she bought is
it's like the third best minor league team in the Finger Lakes region. Some very weird, specific rank like that.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, she must really want to do that and she doesn't have time for me anymore, so I'm going to let her go." It's pretty clear, even for me that hasn't been watching the show, that it was the mention of the child that was upsetting her. Like, that should be pretty obvious to everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, that was manufactured and stupid, like most of the show.
The show is very bad. Like, I honestly, just stopped watching it for, and then forgot I was supposed to watch it for a show. I just turned my attention elsewhere. I'm like, "Oh, shit, I guess I should." And then every time I look back, I'm like, "No, I'm not really missing out." I mean, it was wacky humor. It was like the Grief Panda had these overly specific cards that applied to every situation. And
you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of when I took a vow of silence at school. I don't know if you remember that, but one day I decided that I wasn't going to say anything for the entire day, and I brought a stack of index cards that had just basic stuff on it. So like yes, no, I don't know, all this kind of stuff. And then yeah, and then I wanted I thought this would be hilarious, and I predicted what everyone would do. I predicted that everyone would want to see all my cards and look through it. So at the very last card, I put, "Oh my God, we're all gonna die." And people, sure enough, people would ask to see the cards. They go through it. They get to the last one, and they'd be like, "What the hell's this for?" And then I pulled out the secret card that I had in my pocket the whole time that said "just in case." As As if some catastrophe was going to happen, I still wouldn't talk.
Right.
But yeah, that's what that reminded me of. But it was dumber than what I did.
Oh yeah, a lot dumber than that.
At the very beginning, Will says something like, even though I'm going to be a dad, apparently he's going to be a dad. I guess he got Grace pregnant. I don't understand what's going on with this, but
I don't know.
apparently they're going to have a baby. And he said, even though I'm going to be a dad, I don't want a dad bod. And then he kind of like chuckles and walks off. And Grace says, he thinks that's funny. And I thought, that's the whole show. You guys all
Yeah, the funny part about that.
Yeah.
The part about that blew my mind was a laugh track. And I don't think it was a laugh track. I think it was a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
They just laughed at that joke.
Yeah.
And then she made fun of the people laughing at that joke. And then they laughed at that.
Yeah, exactly.
There was one guy in the audience whose voice I kept hearing laugh over and over. He was very enthusiastic about Will and Grace.
But yeah, it's like, that's the whole show. You guys think this is funny. It's not funny. This show, no. I believe this is the newest episode of this show. So we're going into the fresh into the dumpster. This is like a child's diaper, fresh child's diaper that we're pulling out of the dumpster.
That reminds me, I realized earlier at the beginning of this episode that a dumpster dive shouldn't have like a splashing sound. It should have like a throwing like a bunch of like forks down a metal flight of stairs sound.
Right, exactly. There you go. That's good.
Thank you.
But yeah, better than this show, because this was not good.
I'll never get that time back.
We won't be returning to Will and Grace. We might watch other episodes of shows we've already covered, but we're not going to be going back to Will and Grace.
You really want to see that Mr. Belvedere molestation episode that you claim exists?
Maybe we'll do that next week. If you guys want to keep up with us, then watch the Mr. Belvedere molestation episode.
Or if you see any other pieces of shit out there you want to watch us watch.
Oh, yeah, let us know.
Go ahead and send in suggestions.
Yep. MassiveLateFee@gmail.com, or you can just hashtag us or add us, MassiveLateFee on Twitter there. And we will watch whatever the fuck piece of shit you want us to watch.
Probably not more Will and Grace, though.
No, don't suggest Will and Grace, because we're not watching that. I'm thinking... because Star Wars is coming out soon, maybe we should watch something Star Wars related. Not one of the movies, but there's a terrible I see, and here's the thing, I don't know if we can find it or not, but there was a terrible...
The holiday special thing?
No, I know that's on YouTube. That's like 2 hours long. I don't want to watch that for this. But there's a TV show called Droids, about the droids, C-3PO and R2-D2. That exists. I don't know if we can find it or not. And there's like the Rebels, and which is supposed to be good, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. It's a cartoon show about Star Wars. I don't want to watch.
How about instead? I know there's. I think Mark Hamill was on this show, The Flash, like the original show, The Flash.
Oh, okay.
What if we watch like one of those episodes with him on it? I mean, I don't know if it's a good show or not. I've never seen it. I can't imagine a show about a guy who could run really fast to be very good.
It's the Bill Monette show.
That's always like the shittiest superpower. It's like, well, Superman can fly. I'm sure he can fly faster than he can run. And then I hear people say this bullshit about like, oh, it's like the quantum zone or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm up for that. We can watch The Flash with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, or I'm sure we could find one of those people in something else.
I think he did a voice of one of the... Oh my God. I looked at... This is great audio medium. But I looked up Mark Hamill in The Flash. If you're listening to this, look up Mark Hamill, The Flash, Mark Hamill, and the first picture that comes up is Mark Hamill, a young Mark Hamill, with the shittiest haircut I've ever seen. He looks like Yahoo Serious, basically. He's got on... I mean, I can't even describe this pattern. It's like polka dots and stripes and a checkerboard. It's like the worst Zubaz shirt you've ever seen.
It's ridiculous. Yep.
He's got a weird gun that he's just pointing upwards, and the Flash has got his arm resting on his shoulder like they're the best of buds with this weird smile on his face.
I hear that in the movie Body Bags. Did you know that Mark Hamill's in that?
Get him a body bag. No, I didn't know that.
No, John Carpenter's Body Bags. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I thought you saw it with me. It's like an anthology kind of movie. Apparently, Mark Hamill's in it, and you can see his ball bag at one point. My friend Matt told me.
Matt is always noticing male genitalia in movies.
Oh my god! I'm trying to get him on the show because he did this thread on Reddit. Mm-hmm. it was called Sack Alert or something like that. And he was trying to point out all the different ball shots, and then everybody else was jumping in on the thread, and it got ridiculously out of control. And then Matt just started doing screenshots of the different nude depiction, the nude slippages. It was it's ridiculous.
Oh my god!
And I don't know if I've laughed as hard since I saw it last night in a while. It's so funny. He's a genius in some ways. Hopefully, we'll get him on the show. We're gonna call him Steve Sachs.
We gotta get him on the show. The Trial of the Trickster. I wonder if that's so. Let's see. The Flash.
I know he plays the trickster.
The Flash CBS. So let's see when that was.
He might have been on the new one too, but I don't know.
The Flash CBS. 1990 to 91. One season.
I can't remember seeing it. It was the dumbest shit. It's he runs quickly.
So it looks like it's on Amazon. I don't know if it's free on Amazon or not. I'll have to check that out. But I assume there's ways we can find it.
It looks like he came back for the new one, the new Flash. So we'll have to watch the old one with the Yahoo Serious decor. He looks like a bench at the Max in Saved by the Bell.
He does. He does. He's dressed like a bench at the Max. That's correct. Right. Oh my god!
And I think maybe that's maybe Dustin Diamond's pubes were left, and he's put them on his head for some reason.
Right.
He should man groom.
Absolutely, he needs a man groomer. He needs Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Late fee. 20% off and free shipping.
And unlike the other companies, the Manscaper doesn't tear your sack open.
No, exactly. If your sack is going to be on TV, you want it to look the best. And you don't want it to be bleeding all over the place, Matt will surely notice it then. So go incognito and shave that sack up.
Yep.
The camera adds 10 hairs, so you want to keep it smooth.
It's true.
That is our episode for the week. Tune in next week for The Flash. We'll find an episode. Watch all the episodes with Mark Hamill, and we'll join you in doing that. We'll only watch one, but you'll be prepared.
Yeah, we're just watching the one.
But we will see you next week. Bye.
See you next time.